Hi, this is Father Bill. I'm a friend of Dr. Bob's here in Austin, Texas, and welcome back. Our series this time is looking at the 12 steps from the perspective of what is it that the pioneers from the Oxford Group and early AA can teach us about them. And Dr. Bob was one of those pioneers, and in his last address to AA, he said something that I think was quite profound. He said, let's not louse it all up with Freudian complexes and things that are interesting to the scientific mind, but have very little to do with our actual AA work. And that is particularly true, I think, when we come to step 4. I've seen this step kind of change over the years as people are coming new into the program, and they're being guided, directed into some things that are really far from simple when it comes to taking this step. Some of the guides out there are 40, 50 pages long, and it's starting to look pretty damn Freudian in terms of getting inside and looking at me from this perspective and that. The process back in the old days was really, really simple, and it revolved around the four absolutes. That's why I don't think you can ever understand the Pioneer program without getting a good, solid foundation in those four absolutes. When it was time for them to do their quote inventory, they used the absolutes. Here's Sam Shoemaker giving some guidance on how to go about doing this thing. He said it'd be a very good thing if you took down a piece of fool's cap paper, just an ordinary yellow sheet or something, and wrote down the sins you feel guilty of. One of the simplest and best rules for self-examination that I know is the use of the four standards: absolute honesty, absolute purity, absolute unselfishness, and absolute love. And what he would ask people to do is divide your page into four sections: honesty, purity, unselfishness, and love. And then sit there in God's presence. We've just done step 3. We've turned our will and our lives over to His care. And now we're going to ask Him to show us fearlessly the things that are in our lives that block us from Him, block us from other people, and block us from finding a relationship with our true selves. That's kind of a simple thing. And, I've heard literally hundreds of fifth steps over the years, and some of them, I got to tell you, are very boring. There are people trying to follow some of these guides and analyze this and analyze that. It isn't that hard. I really think we know the things that are blocking us from God. We know the things that generate a feeling of shame and separation from us. Things that I've thought, things that I've done, things that I don't want anybody to know. Those are the things that we have to identify. And so it's a very, very simple process. And if I will ask for God's guidance in this process, ask Him to show me the things that are wrong with me, that are blocking me, and then write those down, then I'm ready to do the fifth step. It says, review your life in their light, the four absolutes. Put down everything that doesn't measure up. Be ruthlessly, realistically honest. I've given this direction to some people, asked them to do it, and I've heard some of the greatest fifth steps I've ever heard. It isn't catching every single thing in my life that I've done wrong. That's a prescription for getting really neurotic. But it's removing the shame, removing the barriers to love that are keeping us away from God and away from others and away from ourselves. So following on Bob's advice, keep this thing simple. Fourth step can be pretty simple. You can do it on one page, and it doesn't have to go on for hours and hours and hours. So Hope this was helpful. Keep coming back. God bless.